The movie begins with Kate, a 7th grader, sharing her story of feeling invisible. She lives with her single and divorced mom, Lori, who dates frequently and copes with breakups through therapy sessions and ice cream. Kate amusingly nicknames all of her mom's dates as Skip, as she finds it difficult to keep track of each one of them. The scene then shifts to Kate's new school in Portland, Oregon, where she notices John Tucker, the basketball team's popular and handsome captain. She describes him as a mix of an Abercrombie model and a Greek god, and mentions that all the girls in the school admire him. The next day, Kate starts working as a waitress at a restaurant and sees John waiting at a table. She then nervously approaches him to take his order, but fumbles, affected by his charm, and goes away. Later, as she returns to take the order, she witnesses John with their school's media expert, Carrie Schaefer. The two kiss in front of everyone, making an awkward moment for Kate to disturb them and get their orders. To Kate's surprise, when she returns the second time, she notices John with Heather, the head cheerleader of the school. The twist is that John is secretly dating 3 girls, including an animal activist named Beth McIntyre, and they are unaware of his plan. At this moment, Kate talks to one of her colleagues and learns that the 3 girls are from different cliques and do not belong to the same social circle. He is confident that the girls will never get along and find out his truth. Kate also gets to know that John tells each of them that his father doesn't allow him to date during basketball season, forcing them to keep their relationship a secret. One fateful day, an unexpected opportunity arises when John Tucker flashes a smile at Coach Claypool, leading her to faint due to acute angina. This incident has significant consequences, as Claypool gets admitted to the hospital and all gym classes are merged into one. A new coach is appointed, and she takes charge of the students. During a ball game, Beth, Carrie, Heather, and Kate find themselves on the same team. The tension escalates when Heather overhears Carrie claiming to be dating John with another girl. In response, she gets enraged and smacks Carrie in the face with the ball, triggering a physical altercation. Beth initially tries to mediate, but she eventually joins in when she hears about John. Discovering that they're all romantically involved with John, Kate and the new coach face the intense anger of the 3 girls. A chaotic scene unfolds with slaps, punches, and ball smacking. In the midst of the turmoil, Kate intervenes, urging the girls to direct their frustration toward John, the true culprit in this love betrayal. Sadly, the consequences of the unnecessary brawl land the 4 girls in detention by the new coach. In an unexpected turn, Scott, the only person in school who recognizes Kate, crosses paths with her during detention. He talks to her, and the interaction reveals Scott to be John's brother. Once Scott leaves, the 4 girls are left alone in detention, leading to a candid conversation about the girls' feelings. Here, Kate sheds light on the emotional manipulation that guys like John employ, prompting them to consider seeking revenge against him. At this moment, the 3 girls who dated John get to know that John has been manipulating them by making them feel guilty and saying the exact words to each one of them. Later that evening, Carrie, Beth, and Heather arrive at Kate's home without any notice, and together they strategize about how they can retaliate against John. Following this, they head towards the school's sports center, and Kate inquires about the unique feature they like in John. After deducing that the girls fall for the guy's physical appearance, Kate and others decide to ruin the same for John. Their initial plan involves an embarrassing advertisement featuring John's face, stating that he is suffering from an STD called herpes. However, it backfires when he unexpectedly wins a Teen Responsibility Award for speaking out about STDs and motivating other students. Meanwhile, Scott and Kate's connection deepens when the former proposes to her and they become lab partners. Undeterred, the girls again have another meeting and craft another plan to bring down John, this time involving administering estrogen in his drink. However, this scheme also fails, as John, despite having a meltdown during a game, manages to win over the girls because of his sensitivity on display. Numerous girls follow him after the game and hand him their numbers, mentioning that he expressed the feelings of a real man and they liked it. Adding to the disappointment of the three girls, John breaks up with all three of them, claiming he wants to focus on his personal growth and that they are not his type. Despite causing emotional turmoil, John seems indifferent to the girls' feelings, earning well-deserved slaps from them on both cheeks. Following this, the three girls, feeling down, gather at Kate's house and come up with a plan to break John's heart in return. They want him to feel exactly what they're feeling at the moment. Since Kate hasn't been with John, they suggest she pretends to date him, and once he falls for her, she can break up with him. Their goal is to make him understand the pain of heartbreak. Initially hesitant, Kate doesn't want to participate, but after insistence from the girls, she reluctantly agrees. The plan brings the four girls closer emotionally. The next day, Heather introduces Kate to the cheerleading group, offering tips on confidence. She reveals that John likes cheerleaders, and surprisingly, Kate quickly catches his attention. When John asks Heather about Kate, she doesn't reveal much and walks away, leaving him curious. She also mentions that Kate is out of his league. After this, the girls intensify their plan, advising Kate to act disinterested instead of giving John the usual attention he gets from the girls. Surprisingly, the strategy works. As Kate refuses John to join him for dinner, it leaves the latter puzzled by a girl turning him down for the first time. He then goes all out to impress Kate, sending her flowers and announcing his number on the school's loudspeaker. Meanwhile, Carrie records Kate's progress with John on her video camera about how he felt bad when Kate refused his proposal for dinner. On the other hand, Scott secretly starts harboring feelings for Kate, but struggles to confess in front of her. Next, we see John waiting for Kate outside her class, and yet again faces another rejection when our girl mentions that she is not interested in him. Following this, without wasting any time, John approaches Scott and asks him about Kate, since they're lab partners. However, Scott does not reveal much and only mentions that Kate is old school and he is not her type. The next day, Scott tells Kate about John's inquiry, but keeps it vague. Our girl even teases him for being a spy for his brother, and Scott replies that he is the best spy. Just then, Kate drops some of her items and Scott helps her pick them up. They share a moment when they gaze into each other's eyes, but both of them feel awkward and quickly depart. The scene then shifts to an important basketball game, where Kate is cheering the team from the sidelines. In the middle of the game, John dribbles near her and asks her on a date. Initially, Kate refuses, but when John states that he will only score if she says yes, she is compelled to accept his proposal. Then, John scores the winning point for his team, and everybody in the audience cheers for him. At Kate's home, the girls prepare Kate for the date with John. They even manage to fit a small camera on Kate's innerwear, trying to get every detail of her conversation with John. Later in the evening, Kate arrives at the beach location for the date, and everyone greets her as she walks with John. Scott grows jealous seeing Kate get closer to his brother. The three girls listen to Kate and John's conversation and start feeling nervous, as they realize that John is going all guns blazing at Kate. After the date, John offers to drop Kate off at home, and at this moment, our girl kisses John. Ruining their moment, the duo gets wet from sprinklers, and Kate starts getting electrical shocks from the camera that the girls had planted before. She then immediately rushes inside the house, leaving John alone, and throws away the camera. Knowing about their plan against John, Lori advises Kate not to pretend to like a guy because she's worried her daughter might end up heartbroken. However, Kate dismisses her mother's advice, saying that she doesn't need guidance, and even criticizes her past relationships. In the following scene, John is all set to impress Kate and takes her on a romantic boat evening. The two really enjoy their night, and the next day, Beth notices that Kate has developed feelings for John. Together, the girls convince Kate that John had them under his spell as well, and suggest she be aware. To prove John's lack of seriousness in the relationship with Kate, Carrie records him boasting in the boys' locker room about how easily he got his way with Kate, and his plan to bang her at night. Next, Kate meets Scott in the chemistry lab, expecting him to be her partner again, but to her dismay, he turns her down and pairs up with another guy, Alex. This makes Kate feel a bit sad, and she walks home alone. The scene then shifts to a hotel where the basketball team is celebrating their semi-final win. Here, Kate feels unsure about continuing their plan against John. But when Carrie shows her the video she recorded in the locker room, Kate gets enraged. Seeing John making fun of her, she becomes determined to teach him a lesson. She then wears a lingerie set, following the girl's advice, and invites John to her hotel room. Sadly, John ends up in Coach Williams' room, wearing weird underwear as requested by Kate. The coach gets really mad at John's behavior and scolds him in front of everyone. This all happened because Kate gave him the wrong room number, but John is unaware of it. The next day, John walks into the basketball court still wearing women's underpants, claiming it helps with performance. He mentions that they allow more air to pass, and it's easy to perform different moves with ease. John convinces other players to join, and they all wear women's underpants for practice. Later, when John talks to Kate, he says he's serious about her. Kate reveals she knows what he said about her in the locker room, but John dismisses it as a joke. To convince her, he gives her his watch and announces to everyone that she's his girlfriend. After this, Beth, Carrie, and Heather are shocked to see John genuinely interested in Kate, and even more surprised that Kate has fallen for him. They remind her that she was nobody before they helped her get noticed by John. In response, Kate feels embarrassed and says she's no longer interested in their plan and opts out of it. At home, frustrated Kate discusses with Lori about her situation and not having any friends. The mother then encourages her to be true to herself to find real friends. After this, Kate arrives at John's birthday party to tell him everything. Before Carrie, Beth, and Heather could play her video about taking revenge on John, Kate confesses everything to John, revealing that she, along with the other girls, devised the plan to make him feel the heartbreak they experienced. After the confession, the crowd reacts negatively, and Carrie, Beth, and Heather climb on stage to defend Kate. They apologize, admitting it was their fault, but get splashed with drinks. John then tries to calm his friends, but things get out of control and Kate begins a cake fight, throwing a piece of cake at John's face. The next day at school, Kate approaches John and apologizes to him for ruining his birthday party. John also apologizes and promises to be truthful from now on. They say goodbye and part ways on good terms, deciding to remain friends. In the last scene, Scott asks Kate to be his lab partner again, and their connection rekindles. The other three girls also learn about it, and they playfully tease Kate for now having a crush on the other Tucker after crushing John's feelings. The movie then ends with the girls talking about Kate being a legend in the school as she did what no other girls ever dared to.